All right, Shalom, Kol Haloim, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem, Chakodash, and Shanya Kabad, Gadwala Requab, the Quanyam Nawa, Washalayakim Nawa. That is the belongers to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom, Wabarakim, Abakaryam, Shalayasharala. And that is peace and blessings to the elect of Israel. And as always, may a double portion of the Holy Spirit be put upon all the brothers that are still offering their bodies as a living sacrifice, pushing out this word in truth and in sincerity. So these past few days, these protests have just been on my mind, and specifically when it comes to all these, well, of course, what's going on, this BLM, Black Lives Matter movement. And I'm hearing a lot of questions from believers about these protests, particularly if they should be in these protests and just really a part of the entire movement. And of course, the simple answer is no. I mean, first of all, we're not black. And the more and more that term is pushed, the more and more our people fall into, destruction. The scriptures talk about how my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. But that's a different topic. What I really want to speak on is basically, if you are in the mind frame of going out there and protesting, then that basically means that you don't believe in a new world to come. Either that, or you really just lack the knowledge of the scriptures, which go hand in hand. Because when the Lord comes back, then he's coming back to destroy this world. Ultimately, he's coming back to wage war, and we're going to see that. And with that war, then there's going to be a renewed heaven and a renewed earth, if you will. And that's what we're looking forward to. So this is the book of 2 Peter chapter 3, starting at verse 10. It says, "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt away or melt with fervent heat." And we know that's due to the nuclear missiles. "The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up." Once again, due to the nuclear missiles. "Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be? In all holy conversation and godliness." So speaking about salvation, basically. "Looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens, being on fire, shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, so even though we know that World War III is about to break out, and we know that there's going to be all hell breaking loose here in America and around the entire globe, we know that this place is going to, Babylon the Great is going to lose World War III. It's going to be completely burnt up. Verse 13 says, "Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth refreshed." We're looking for a new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. And we know that the scriptures talk about how the earth abides forever. So the entire earth is not going to be destroyed. There is going to be certain parts on earth that are going to be fully wiped out, aka America. Okay, but with that being said, we're looking for a refreshed earth where basically what? Where the kingdom of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai is ruling. That's what it means by wherein dwelleth righteousness. Because what does the Lord's Prayer say? It says, on earth as is in heaven. So that's what we're looking forward to. Despite popular belief in what these Christians teach, the kingdom of heaven is not some place where we're just floating in the clouds and singing hymns all day. Now, there will be beautiful singing and entertainment, dancing, and so on and so forth in the kingdom, but all this is going to be played out on earth. And that's what we're looking forward to, because think about it. If you're out there pushing this Black Lives Matter movement, and I should have led into also saying this in the beginning, then not only are you pushing for some kind of equality with these Edomites, in which that's never ever going to happen, but if you're pushing for equality to be treated fairly with these Edomites, then that means that you're also pushing for the longevity of America, because the inward parts, or the inward thoughts, there we go, of these Edomites are that their houses continue forever. So they're looking for this place to go on forever and ever and ever. They want America to be their kingdom that never goes down. And who can blame them? They're in their blessing right now. So cool, live out your blessing. Nothing is wrong with that. I'm not mad at you, Edomites, because our turn is up next. And we know that there's a everlasting kingdom coming to Yashar Allah. But our people are out there marching for equality and Esau's blessing. These Edomites are living out their blessing and don't want to share anything with us. But now you're marching peacefully, protesting, striving for some kind of equality, trying to live right next to this man. And that basically means that you're marching for America's longevity. But what is the Lord coming back to do? Like I already mentioned, Revelation chapter 9, starting at verse 11. Let me see. No, it's cool. We'll start at verse 11. Revelation 19, verse 11 says, "And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse." That white horse represents a chariot. "And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True." That's Yahweh Shai. The true name of the man, the true name of the man that died on the cross. "And in righteousness he doth judge and make war." So this is what the Lord is coming back to do. He's coming back to judge people and make war. Verse 12 says, "His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns." Because we're not just going to focus on America, like I mentioned, or if I didn't say it, we already know that America has its destruction that's coming towards it. It's going to be completely destroyed. And the scriptures talk about how only wild beasts of the desert and unclean animals are going to dwell here. But it's not just the fact that America's going down. All these other global powers have to go down as well. Only the kingdom of heaven is going to be ruling. That large mountain, or that government of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, is what's going to be ruling. And then these other hills, the smaller hills, which represent the other kingdoms of these other nations after their 1,000 years of captivity, they're going to be put in their own lands, and they're going to have their own government set up, the scriptures talk about. But it's going to be according to the laws, statutes, and commandments that they get from that governing body of the kingdom of heaven, of the kingdom, I should also say, of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So this is why the scriptures talk about verse 12 once more. "His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns." Because when the Lord comes back to make war, not just America is going down, but all these other kingdoms. The Moabites think that they're going to be next up. That's not true. No matter who it is, Moab, Ammon, Ishmael, so on and so forth, all of them are going down. They're not going to rule. It's going to be the kingdom of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So many crowns represents that the Lord is basically taking control. He's the one in power and taking down all these other nations. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. Because our people are everywhere. Our people are out protesting. Remember, we were scattered amongst all these other nations. So we're not just in America, although the big majority of our people are here in this place. But we're scattered amongst all these other nations. We look like the other nations. We're speaking their languages and, unfortunately, of course, upholding their cultures. And that's why we're known as Gentiles, or we were known as Gentiles. And we're coming out of that mind state, coming back to our power. But our people are out here protesting globally throughout the entire world. So all these nations have to go down. Now let me jump over here. This will probably be the last precept. I just wanted to grab some precepts that talk about how Daniel, let me get it first, get my thoughts together. Daniel 7:14. Just wanted to grab some precepts to talk about how there is going to be a new heavens and a new earth coming, and how the Lord is coming back and he's going to put down all these other nations. Now we know about Daniel, the 7th chapter. It goes in talking about the 4 different beasts, which are 4 different kingdoms that are going to rule, or that did rule at a certain point in time. It talks about the little horn, which we know to be America. But what do the scriptures say about all that? Ultimately, what's going to be the end of all this? Daniel 7, we'll start at verse 13. It says, I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man, that's Yahushai, came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, that's the Heavenly Father Yahweh, and they brought him near before him. And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, in his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. So these Black Lives Matter protests are happening globally all around the entire world, which why I said again, no matter where you are, if you believe in the Bible, but no matter where you are, you're out there protesting for Black Lives Matter, then ultimately you're protesting for, I did say America's longevity, but really the longevity of this current eon, of this current age, which is the age of this so-called white man ruling. It's the age of these Edomites ruling. Maybe I'll change the topic or the title that I originally thought of for this video, because now that I'm thinking about it, you really are protesting for just the longevity of Edomites, which we know that they're ruling America anyway. But the scriptures say that all people in all nations, all languages are going to serve Yahushai, and that his kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, which has everlasting dominion. Let's go into this word dominion really quickly, and then we'll end it, because this is what we're looking forward to. We're looking forward to this kingdom, this dominion, taking part in this dominion. So that word dominion in Hebrew is shaltan, and it just says dominion, sovereignty. But let's look up this word sovereignty, and then we'll close out. Supreme power or authority, but when you click on this right here, the first sentence says sovereignty is the full right and power of a governing body over itself without any interference from outside sources or bodies. So that's exactly what we're looking forward to. And I'm going to screenshot that because I like that definition. I want to keep it for future reference. But this is exactly what we're looking forward to. Sovereignty over there in the land of Israel, the promised land, right? Having the laws, statutes, and commandments written in our inward parts. And then that only, the second covenant, that is, only applies to the nation of Israel. And then from there, we will teach these other nations how to properly live. Thus saith the scriptures. So I just wanted to offer this perspective when it comes to these protests and these Black Lives Matter. Lord's will, I'm going to make another video concerning this, these protests again, because it's just like I mentioned, it's been on my mind these past few days, and I want to get these thoughts out there. But Lord's will, I pray that this was edifying. All praises, glory, and honor be to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Chakudash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.